Just opening this up, the Animate does not look anything like what it shows you in the book, and there's been so many changes to it. So let me try and walk you through what you're needing to do. When you open this up, you want to go to File and Create New. Makes a dialog box that's a little bit easier to follow. We're not doing any of these other oddball things, the web, ads, education, games, although that would probably be fun later. We're going to work in character animation and select standard to start with. We're going to be using the default to begin with of the 640 by 480 pixels, which is old-fashioned TV, which is really about the easiest thing to work with. We have a default rate of 30 frames per second, which isn't going to matter for what we're building because this particular exercise uses only the first frame. There's nothing, we're not going to advance through and have any animation. This is just to get you familiar with drawing in here. Do make sure that for your platform type you are working with ActionScript. We're not dealing with HTML, but that's the setup that we are wanting to use. So go ahead, click Create on that, and it's going to bring this setting up. The first thing in here, just look around a little bit. We have all of our tools. You can actually add more tools just like everything else, but at this point we're not dealing with bones or anything like that, so drag and drop. If you don't come up with all of the tools nestled under the pen tool as you did before in the other programs, oh, and I just put a dot there, let me undo that. Go in here and drag your pen tools. You actually have to drag them onto the tool itself to place it where you want it. That will make your life a little bit easier as you're drawing through this. We want to bring in and import to stage. That'll put it right up on our stage. The Corvette JPEG that is the sketch that we're going to be duplicating. Bring that up, say OK to that. The first thing you'll notice is the fact that the size of it doesn't match what our screen is. I'm going to pick up my selection tool and I'm going to click on the document size, and we're going to change the document size to 850, I believe it is, 450. Yeah. That's going to give us a little bit better space to work on. Then with your selection tool, well, first of all, let's go ahead and change the alignment so that we are aligning everything to the stage for this and then pick up the sketch and go into the alignment and center, and then turn off align to stage. But that centers it nicely. You can actually then lock that first layer, change the name of it to sketch, put a lock on it, and then you're going to add a series of new layers on it. Window, body, wheels, door, and accents, and I'll come back as soon as I have those created. You just click the plus sign to create the new layer. Double click to change the name. We're going to start by drawing with the line tool. And we'll be drawing on the window layer. Zoom into the window and make sure you read through the section on stage 2 about drawing in Animate. You're going to find that there is the merge drawing mode and the object drawing mode. You're in one of the two, and merge drawing is going to give you'll get a crosshatch pattern in the drawings, and you will not get a bounding box. When you draw in object drawing mode, you'll get the bounding box, and you can actually change back and forth afterwards by selecting and modifying and grouping items to create a group with a bounding box. It's, to me, a little bit confusing until you've worked with it for a while, and then it starts to make more sense, and I'll try and help you out with all of that. But we're going to pick up the line tool, and your properties panel will change. Make sure you are not in object drawing mode. So if you are, it's going to be highlighted. Make sure that's turned off. Go into your stroke. Make sure your alpha is set to 100% and pick up one of these bright greens just so that it's easier to see on the screen. And your stroke size should be 2. Drawing with the line tool is simply the same thing as it's been in the other programs. Click and drag, and you're going to create line after line, and they should snap to each other. And for the final line, you're going to draw straight across. So you've got this weird looking trapezoid thing, and then you're going to pick up your selection tool. And by picking up your selection tool, you get the ability to bend the line like you did with the selection tool in Illustrator. So you're going to curve the window and curve the window edge here just a little bit. And when you have that done, I guess it would be a good time to save my file. I did miss one item, and if you didn't catch that, we did want to have a rounded cap and we wanted a rounded joint. So if you did not get that done, you can go in, select the entire thing, and change your cap and your joint so that you have those rounded and not pointed like that. Next, we're going to create the body. So select the body layer. You can zoom out so that you can see the whole body. Click to deselect the window so that we are working only on the body layer. And we're going to work this time with the pen tool. Now with the pen tool, we are going to want to be working in the object drawing mode. So select that to turn that on. We're keeping the same stroke and stroke size, the same color, the same round and joints and stuff like that. Remember, with the pen tool, you're going to do some clicking and dragging. And remember also that since your shortcut key of using the space bar will bring up the hand tool, you can zoom in so that you can work on that a little bit closer. You're going to start by clicking and dragging in the direction you want to go to create the lines around the car. And I'm going to keep on going with this. It's just a matter of clicking and dragging. Same way that you would have done this with Illustrator. If you click and drag and then go back to change the direction, working around the corner is going to get a little trickier. Remember, you can always go back in and tweak this, keeping in mind that the sketch is only a guide. You can then go back in, picking up the sub-selection tool. You can go back in and tweak this. Click on the line, and this again is going to be just like working in Illustrator or InDesign, any of the drawing programs. And I'm going to skip through all of this. You do have the ability to add points. You can delete points. Remember, just go up and pick up which tool you need underneath your pen tool. And there are shortcut keys, so if you need to add an anchor point, it's the equal sign. Delete an anchor point, hold down your minus sign, and convert is a Shift plus C, or just go up and select whichever tool you're needing. And I'm going to skip through this because you don't need to watch me do it. When you're happy with what you've got, let's take a look at the whole thing and save your file. This next section is going to seem a lot like using the shape builder tool again. So we're going to be working on the body layer, and you have to make sure that you are again working with the object drawing mode. So we're going to pick up the line tool with this and make sure you turn on the object drawing mode. Otherwise, this will merge with the body and we have all kinds of crazy problems. You're simply going to draw a line across, and then you will pick up your selection tool and curve the line to match the body line. You can go in and move things around and make that line up. Once that's done, click off, reselect it. You can see that it's an object because it has that box around it. And we're going to go to Modify and select Break Apart. Now that changes that from the object drawing mode to the merge drawing mode, so we can do the destructive editing. So now we're picking up the selection tool and we're going to click on that overhanging piece. Hold down your shift key, you can pick up the other piece that's hanging down and then just hit delete, and that's going to take and get rid of those. You're going to continue to do the same thing with the front body line. Use your selection tool to bend it. Reposition whatever you need to do. Go up to Modify, do the Break Apart again. Click off, select the top tail, select the bottom tail, delete that, and then this part is important. You're going to select the two lines with your selection tool, hold down your shift key, and then go to Edit and Cut, go to the door layer, Edit, and paste in place. That's important, or the rest of what you're doing won't work with the car.